hey, that's fucked up. She's a great player. We should only be talking about how she plays, not about who she's fucking, because that's nobody's business but the two people fucking.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know, and that's how you change it. You start changing people's attitudes. But you know, it all goes back to the allies, the importance. And if there's one thing that I could say is probably most important for young female musicians, is to gain allies. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not saying, oh, make friends with dudes. Like, don't just make friends with dudes. Make allies with dudes.
And what's the difference?
The difference is you can have a friend, someone you cool with or whatever, who's not close enough to you, who you can trust to advocate for you. An ally will advocate for you when you're not even there. Mm-hmm. You know, for example, and this has nothing to do with men and women, but just talking about advocates and allies. We were in a club one time, and someone came out of their mouth and was like, "Fuck such and such," and the whole club stopped, and everybody looked at that person, and we're like, "What did you just say?" You know, those were all allies in that room. They cared about that person enough to say, like, I don't care if he's not here. You better not ever come out of your mouth and say something disrespectful about this person, because this person means something to me. This person is, you know, my friend. This is somebody I care about. This is somebody who I will never let anybody talk bad about them, because that's how much they mean to me. That's how much they've done for me. That's how much they've been to me. Right. And that's the difference between an ally and somebody's a friend. If somebody's a friend, could just be like, oh, you know, that's not nice.
Right.
Or like, or not say anything and just think like, oh, that's fucked up. No, an ally will call you out on your shit. Yeah. Will call that person out on their shit right then and there. Okay. You know what I mean? And that's what's necessary. That's if we really want to change attitudes and behaviors in the jazz community, it's got to be men. Mm-hmm. You know, just in the same way that, you know, in this country, if we want to change systems in this country, we need to change, you know, the powers in this country. It's the white people that got to do it, because they're in power, not us. You can't ask the oppressed to fix what the oppressor has done, you know. And it's the same thing, you know, in the jazz community. Women can't fix it; men have to fix it.
Right. Yeah. So, what do you think? Like, a lot of times, you know, I hear people saying, like, you know, there's a few women playing, or there's a handful of women playing instruments, or whatever. But for whatever reason, it seems like some of the time they don't master their instruments as much as their male counterparts. Like, why do you think that is? Or do you even think that's true?
I think that's bullshit.
Okay.
Because there's a ton of niggas out here that ain't mastered their instruments and getting gigs.
That's true.
And touring all over the world. And I think that it's just, you know, women are just kind of more, because it's such a subgroup, because it's such a small amount of people. And the women that are out there are like, because it's so rare to see them, you focus more on it. Whereas there can be a ton of sorry-ass motherfuckers over there that nobody's focusing on because there's so many men. It's ubiquitous in the jazz community. So I think it's kind of unfair to be like, oh, women don't master their instrument. No, that person didn't master their instrument. It doesn't necessarily, because there's plenty of women out here. Okay, there's not a lot of women in general, but there's women out here that are playing just as well, if not better than their male counterparts. And just like, you know, there can be sorry female players, there's sorry men players. It's just that there's a spotlight on them because there's fewer of them. So it might look like a larger percentage because you're going from a smaller pool.
Right. Okay. That's it.
That's all you got from me?
That's it.
Really?
Today, yeah. You came up 3 days early.
I did come 3 days early.
You got